there are questions over here for you. Where can the foster grandparents volunteer?
Well, they would call here to sign up. There's a lengthy process. You have to go through the background checks and everything else, but you would just call here to 573-443-1100, extension 1131 is the foster grandparents, if you want more information about them.
I can't believe you had that all memorized. Now, we do have slides at the end for everyone that are going to have everyone's contact information, all the speakers, and also a link to a folder where we have put every resource flyer we can get our hands on. So know that that's coming. Gay would like to know if the resource guide is free for agencies.
It's free for everybody. It's online and it's ad-free as well. I get requests like every week for people who want to put their ads in there, but we don't need it. We don't need all the clutter and all the junk. We need it easy to use. So it is free for everybody.
Amber added that it's not a question, but the resource guide is super thorough and very helpful. True. Oh, true, Amber. I used it the other day. I had someone who wanted help with a parent who was getting out of jail and wanted to know what resources, and I just clicked on it.
Right.
County,
oh, definitely. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, share this with everybody. It's free for everybody, and we try to promote it a lot. Actually, we've had almost 100,000 hits on that since we started it in November of 2017. And you can tell with COVID, because you can see the backside of Google Analytics. You can see how many people are using stuff. It just has gone through the roof. I think we had over 1,600 different people using it just in June. And normally we average about 500. So that's almost triple the amount of people, because people are looking for help.
That's awesome. Very awesome.
That's it for me. I'll put in the link to that, and I'll add the link to Head Start. Unless
does anyone else have any questions for Kelly before she leaves? Because she asked to leave us.
And my contact information will be there. Email me, if you have more questions.
Awesome. I have to learn how to cancel spotlighting you. Okay, I think I did it. And then next up, Siobhan, you're next. Let me find you. I've got to figure out how to spotlight you now. Oh, did you spotlight yourself?
I did.
Good work. I don't know. Boom, you're spotlit.
Hello, my name is Siobhan Walls-Taylor, and I work with FACE of Boone County, which means Family Access Center of Excellence of Boone County. And what we are a linking agency for families with children ages 0 through 19 who have a social emotional behavior concern. We help them and their families connect to the right resources. And by resources, that can range from anywhere from counseling, parenting support, psychiatric and diagnostic services. We also help with basic needs, which is food, clothing, shelter, after school activities, just really a lot of resources. So the way it works is if you have a family who is looking for assistance, what they can do is they can refer themselves, or you can refer them. We are open to all referrals. It doesn't have to be a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, but anyone. We accept those referrals. We ask that you speak with the family. If they're not referring themselves, to tell them that we're calling, so they'll be expecting us. We usually call them within 24 to 48 hours of being referred. We set up a assessment with one of our clinical case managers. So what we do is we provide clinical case management for our families, even though they may be going to see counseling and everything. What we do is we provide case management so that maybe that counselor doesn't work out. They have someone that they can call and say, hey, this is not a good fit. Can I have any other options? So they have someone that's already familiar with the case, already knows what's going on as far as the child and who they've already seen. So that makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to start all over. You have someone that's kind of supporting you throughout the whole process. So basically, we set up that assessment. We talk, the case manager talks to them one-on-one, see what resources it is that the family is looking for or needs. And then we will provide them with the referral. We will provide them with the numbers, the contacts. We do it. We send out emails to that family with everything that they asked for listed, provide them with a referral if necessary. Right now, we have been gracious enough to receive from Boone County Children Family Services. When COVID started, we were granted some money to be able to provide families with 6 free therapy sessions per family member, which means if a family registers with us and the child needs therapy services, we can connect them to a provider, and we cover the first 6 visits. If the parents want therapy services, same thing. And that also includes that we're able to actually do family therapy if that is what is asked for. So, so we still continue to provide that case management services. So I'm trying to see what else. Did I miss anything, Hillary? Because I know you've heard this a lot. I'm sorry, Hillary, you muted.
Oh, I want to make sure everybody heard the 6 free visits. Like,
yes,
it's important to hear that.
Yes, it's 6 free service. And we have been lucky to be able to actually partner with some of the best therapists for, agencies out there. We're working with Lawrence Oliver's and Associates, Hetford House. Man, it is a lot. So a lot of private therapists have come on board to do this. So our services are free. Unfortunately, that's why we're paying the cost of the therapy services, but we do try to match the families with a therapist that accepts their insurance, so that if they choose to continue on after the 6 therapy sessions, they know what their copayment is or what Medicaid provides and everything. So yeah, we do try to mate our families up. And I know CMCA said that they were put together by a fund. So we came to a little history about FACE is that FACE became FACE due to our residents in Boone County. They were asked, they were sent a survey, they answered the survey, and the survey said that one of the things that was needed was, it was mental health, coordination of services, family involvement, things of that nature. So they took all that information and put it together, and that's how FACE came about. And that's what we do. We make sure families are involved, feel like they're supported, and help them navigate through the whole system of looking for getting the services that their children needs. We work with pretty much every resource in Columbia. And we accept any family with child ages 0 through 19 who has a social emotional behavior concern. There is no income restrictions or anything. The only thing is they have to be a resident of Boone County, have to have a child 0 through 19, and a social emotional behavior concern. And that makes it pretty broad, because it could be a child acting up because everybody in their class is talking about the extracurricular activities that they're a part of, and family can't afford it. So we will connect them to someone who like Daydreams, and they provide the funds for a kid to be involved in extracurricular activities. We help them connect to Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers and Big Sisters for mentoring, or different, there's a lot of mentoring programs, Black and Brown Girls, just a lot of different things like that. We help them connect to the wardrobe, to get clothing, let them know what local food pantries are, whatever it is that the family needs, we help them connect to it. So that's it. Any questions?
That's a lot. That's why we needed you here tonight, Siobhan. We needed to make sure everybody knows about FACE.
Yeah, because we've connected families that weren't aware of the Thompson Center or wasn't aware of the wardrobe or food pantries and things like that. So yeah. And we have literally, we are working from home because of COVID, been doing it since March. And we have, I would say that we are pretty much keeping the same schedule. 9 to 7, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Fridays 10 to 2 on Saturdays, which means that's good because people don't have to take off of work. So we've always provided that Saturday time frame for assessments, but yeah.
Awesome. And I know I said we would take questions at the end, but we have a few more minutes that are officially Siobhan's minutes. Does anybody have a question? If you do, you can type it in. If it comes to you later, you're going to be here the whole time, right, Siobhan?
Yeah, I can.
So if it comes to you in the middle of something later, we can come back to it. Am I missing any? I don't see any. I think you get to take a break. Jennifer, are you ready? Gonna make you our new spotlight.
I'm ready. I have to unmute myself.
Excellent. We're so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here, so thank you. My name is Jennifer Clark Williams, and I'm a social service specialist. I work for the Columbia Boone County Department of Public Health and Human Services. We're located at 1005 West Worley. We're right next to the Family Health Center. And so our services, because we're Columbia Boone County, our services are limited to residents of Boone County. And we have several programs that we offer to the community. I'm going to try to get through them all. The first few are offered through our social service clinic. And so while you're not able to come into the clinic at this time, we're working remotely and we are still taking all of the services that we're offering. We're taking applications and things for that. So we have medication assistance and medical supplies assistance. That is $150 a year, respectively. So for medication assistance is $150, for medical supplies is $150. For those programs, you have to be a US citizen, refugee, or permanent resident. You have to have a household income at or below 200% of the poverty level. You also have to have a valid prescription from a qualified medical professional. And what we are having people do is, because we're not in the office and working remotely, you would call our social services number. It's 573-817-6430. You leave a message and a social service specialist will call you back and work with you on whatever it is that you're needing. I do need to let people know that we call from block numbers because we're working from home and it's their own personal cell number. So it is a block number that they call from. So if you call and request services, please don't ignore the block call when it comes back. You can also email us. We have email, and I'm going to give you that, at socialservices@como.gov. And in fact, that's actually the faster way to get services because we can get those emails pretty quickly and get that information back to you. But to apply for those two programs, you just need to call or email us. We also offer utility assistance. This is a once-a-year type of assistance that we give. It's a flat $200. And we have two different programs we offer for seniors and people who have disabilities, those who are disabled, but we also offer help for people who have family with children. So you have to have children in the home under the age of 18 to qualify for that one. And it's basically electric and water. Unfortunately, we don't offer utility assistance for gas. So electric and water, And the qualifications for that program is you have to be a U.S. citizen, refugee, or permanent resident as well. But your income has to be 150% at or below the federal poverty level. The utility account has to be in that individual's name. So if two people are living together, say they're boyfriend and girlfriend, if the utility bill is in the boyfriend's name, but the kids are not his, they would not qualify for utility assistance. So it has to be in the individual's name who is applying. The same way to apply for it, we have applications online at our website, www.como.gov. You can download an application there, or you can call one of the social service specialists at the number I gave before, and they can do the application with you over the phone. The other program that we offer that we're kind of sad about because we haven't been able to do is pregnancy support. We're doing that, but we're not able to take pregnancy tests there at the office. So that makes it a little more difficult for people. If they're going to go see their doctor, they end up tending not to come in and see us. But we are offering still help with filling out Medicaid applications so that pregnant moms can apply for Medicaid for pregnant women. And we're also offering the temp Medicaid. So again, you just contact us at that number. Also send us an email at the social services at como.gov, and we can help pregnant moms to be able to get those services and be able to get signed up for Medicaid and what they need. I am personally a home visitor, and so the program that I work for is called Healthy Families America. And it is basically a program where we work with pregnant moms and the baby that they're pregnant with up until the baby is age 3. And so while mom is pregnant, we go out and do home visits 2 to 4 times a month. We work on things like getting the parents ready for the baby coming, giving her information on what she can expect during her pregnancy. We have 2 different curriculums that we use. And we also talk about scrapbooking, and we offer incentives. So the incentives for the program are health and safety items. We'll offer a portable crib, which is a pack and play, a car seat, diapers and wipes, books, toys, lots of other little items that we offer our parents that participate in the program. After the baby's born, we visit with mom every week for the first 6 to 9 months. So it's really intensive right after she has that baby, but we want to offer that additional support, and that's why we come out as often as we do. What we focus on at that time is to help parents to build a healthy relationship with their children and with the baby. And we also kind of talk about developmental stages, what they can expect the baby to be going through when the baby's going to crawl, some things they can work on when the babies start walking, just things like that. We do ages and stages, developmental screenings. We also assess for depression. So we want to keep an eye on that to make sure that mom has the supports that she needs, and just that the whole family as a whole are being healthy. Let's see, to qualify for the program, you have to be in your 1st or 2nd trimester of pregnancy. So we really like to work with moms prenatally, establish that relationship before they actually have the baby. So 1st and 2nd trimester, you have to be at or below 185% of the poverty level, and you can't have a college degree. To qualify to do the program, you just need to call the social service number. You can also send an email, and the social service specialist will complete a risk assessment with you and a screening form. And as long as you qualify through that, it'll assess for things like depression, whether you've had children in the past, and just other different difficulties they may have experienced. But after that, they will send that referral over to one of the home visitors, and then we will end up giving that individual a call. So we have openings. We would love to have people to come into the program. Feel free to call. And like I said, what is that number? The number is 817-6430. And again, you can email us as well. One of the other programs that I forgot to mention that we offer in the clinic, which is closed, but you can call us, is bus pass assistance. So as far as transportation, we were offering free bus passes to income eligible residents of Columbia. And so the passes were initially distributed at the beginning of the year in January through a lottery process. And then as we got more bus passes donated, we would give those out on a first come, first served basis. However, I was just informed that City Council passed an ordinance that transportation is going to be free for the next fiscal year. So from October 1st through September 30th, 2021, transportation will be free. So people won't need bus passes at that point. Now, after that point, I'm not sure what they're going to do. I guess we'll figure that out when the time comes. So, but that was a program we have, and maybe we'll continue after 2021. Within the health department, we have another department called Health Promotions, and I have to apologize. I'm not familiar with everything that they do there, but they have 2 programs, and they're working on a third one. They're working on a support group for postpartum and like depression, but they haven't got all the details of that worked out. So that'll be more to come later. But the 2 programs that they do have, Fitastic and the Take 5 program. And so the Fitastic program basically is choosing healthy habits for a healthy future. And it has 1 of physical activity, 2 hours of screen time, 3 servings of milk and yogurt, 4 servings of water, and 5 servings of fruits and veggies. And I think I sent you a handout, Hillary, about the program. So they are still doing that program. And then the Take 5 program is kind of a mindfulness program. And it's based on the program's emphasis on awareness of body, mind, and internal conflicts. So really having respect for personal space and just having self-control. The curriculum is customized for each situation or person. And what it goes through is 5 deep breaths or 5 minutes of breath work, 5 sets of exercise or movement for 5 minutes, 5 minutes of drawing or journaling, 5 minutes of concentration or quiet time, and then 5 minutes of contact, talking or touch, depending on the situation. But the individual that is responsible for these 2 programs, her name is Monica Stokes, and she can be contacted at 874-7285 if you need more information. And she also, email's a great way to get in touch with her too, because she's also working remotely. And her email is monica.stokes@como.gov. So that is about it as far as our programs. I hope I ran down everything. I tried to get through it all, so.
You're doing great. Now, is Monica spelled with a C or a K?
I'm sorry, what?
Is Monica with a C or a K for those people that were writing down?
I'm sorry. Monica, M-O-N-I-C-A, Monica.
Awesome.
Stokes, yes.
Lily would like to know those dates that you mentioned for the free transportation.
So that'll be October. It'll be for the fiscal year, this fiscal year coming up. And for the city, that's October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. So riding the bus will be free.
That's amazing.
That's
great.
I think it's fantastic.
Now, I had a tiny technical glitch on my end. Did you mention medication and medical supply assistance?
Yes, medication and medical supply assistance. We are still offering that, and those are services that you have to call, and then we'll give you a call back. But yes, we still offer that, and it's $150 a year. And there are 2 different pots of money. So if you use all your medication assistance money, you still have medical supply if you qualify, and that's $150 a year. But 200% at or below poverty level, you have to have a prescription from a medical professional, and that's even for the assistance. If you can get a prescription for it, if you qualify, we can get it for you. And then you have to be a U.S. citizen, refugee, or permanent resident alien. So, is that it?
Ooh, take a big deep breath. You did great.
That's a lot.
Does anyone else have any questions for her right now? If they pop up. Oh, you missed with, Katie, she is with, okay, it's long. You want to give her full organization title?
Columbia Boone County Department of Public Health and Human Services. And so we serve all of Boone County.
I tend to just say the health department. And And everyone who is attending that filled out our pre-survey says they're serving families in Boone County. So everybody has the wonderful benefit of all those resources. I contacted Callaway County's health department, but they don't have as much.
Oh,
It was sad. They didn't want
yeah,
to
we're
talk
kind of
about it.
special like that. So.
Okay, let's see what's happening on our roster here. Thank you, Jennifer. You're hanging around, right?
Yeah, I'll be around for a little bit.
Okay, so if any questions come up, we'll let you know. Vicky's gonna be next, so I'm gonna switch our spotlight videos.
I'm gonna
Okay, I see you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Vicki Daybalt with SOAR. I'm going to try to share a screen. So let me see if this works. If it doesn't, okay. Does everybody see our brochure?
I see it.
Okay, excellent. So again, my name is Vicki Daybalt, and I'll be talking to you this evening about a program, our program SOAR. SOAR stands for Systems Offering Actions for Resiliency in Early Childhood. We are a program that is through the Missouri MU School of Medicine. We're funded through Boone County Children's Service Fund. And so we have had the opportunity to serve children in Boone County for several years. Our program is made, our grant is made up of 2 programs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each program. The first program I'm going to talk about is Early Childhood Positive Behavior Support. We call that ECPBS for short. And this particular program, we have the opportunity to train and support child care providers in Boone County to with different strategies that promote social and emotional wellness of young children in Boone County. And I kind of will go into a little bit more detail about that in a minute. The second program that we offer through SOAR is Child Parent Psychotherapy. CPP for short. So CPP is a treatment for children ages 0 to 5. So it's an evidence-based treatment. It's one of the few as evidence-based treatments that starts with kiddos at birth and their primary child care providers. So it is a dyadic relationship therapy in which we work with both the caregiver and with the child. And so the children or the caregivers, they've gone through a traumatic event. And so there's a list of different events on the left-hand side that is really a trauma, but really it's kind of, we just determine upon the assessment process. And again, it is free. So both of these services are free to individuals in Boone County. So I'm going to scroll down. Let me see if I can get this to work to the next page. Let me see. Maybe not. Oh, wouldn't that be great if I could? I need to move me. Okay, hang on one second. Let me try to get to the next page. Page 2. Oh, yay. Technology, you gotta love it. So let me go into a little bit more detail about both programs. I will start actually with CPP, which was the program I was just speaking about. So this is a fantastic program that we have in the community in which we really can support families, like I mentioned, that had gone through a traumatic event. And we spend a great deal of time with these families. We meet with them on a weekly basis. We provide therapeutic interventions. Again, like I said, it was a dyad relationship type of therapy. And we can use this program to build attachments between families, also to teach our parents different strategies when working with children to deal through these traumatic experiences. And we can work with all different types of caregivers. So it's not just it's not just the bio parents, it's wherever the child is living and who their primary caregiver is. The one thing I really wanted to mention about CPP is that we've had funding for the last several years to be able to provide this service to Boone County, but we were just recently awarded a grant in which we have the capacity now to continue this therapy outside of Boone County. And so pretty much anywhere in the state of Missouri, we can continue this therapy. We have been doing CPP through Zoom, so we have been able to match the needs of the community, as well as we are still seeing kids in clinic as well. Of course, we are all masked, but we have found that to be effective means when working with families. We also, with this new grant that we just received, in which we can continue serving people outside of Boone County. We also have 2 other new therapies that we are bringing up. One of those is trauma-focused CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. This particular therapy, again, will be free, and it's for children ages 3 to 19. So we have the array that we can work with a wider range of ages. It also will be through all of Missouri, so it's also not just limited to Boone County. And another therapy called Trauma Grief Component Therapy, TGCT, that I'm just learning about. So it also is for teens, older children and our teens, but it's a new therapy that we'll be bringing as well. When we bring these therapies in, we'll be using them as a learning collaborative. So if you know of individuals, therapists that would be interested in learning different modalities, please reach out to me, and the number, and I have it on the screen, I'll share in just a moment, if anybody might be interested in it. So we are very excited about having the opportunity to provide free therapy services to our families and children in our community. So that's a lot about CPP. The next program I really want to talk to you about is Early Childhood Positive Behavior Support. We call that ECPBS for short. A lot of words. This program is a program that has been around in our community since 2014. We've had the ability to work with several different child care centers in Boone County. I would say we have worked in every city but Hartsburg. I don't really know what's in Hartsburg besides the Pumpkin Festival, but I'm sure there's a lot of great individuals out there. We just haven't been in that community as of yet. So this program, we are able to provide training, social emotional wellness, and training for child care providers, where we have the opportunity to teach our child care providers what is social emotional regulation, the importance of social emotional health with young children, and then different strategies to bring into their classroom to support children's social emotional health and well-being. So we have the opportunity to continue doing trainings through this unusual time through Zoom. So we found that to have been beneficial as well. And in fact, I think sometimes, and you mentioned it earlier, Hillary, a little bit even more beneficial for some of our childcare providers that maybe live too far away to get to Columbia, since we're a Boone County program, but also individuals that need to put their children in the bathtub, right? Or need to feed their families. And so we found a lot of unique things about training through Zoom. And so we are now offering all of our trainings, or ECPBS trainings, through Zoom. Now, I did want to mention that this is a service that is through childcare center. So we work with the whole center, not just a particular childcare provider. One in the center, we try to work with the whole center. So we provide trainings, and then we provide weekly coaching. And so the coaching is a way for us to go into these centers and really work with the teachers in an environment where we can do a lot of reflective talk, but we can do role modeling, and we can do observations, and we can just really get into the program. Again, in the new situation that we find ourselves, we've been doing some of that through things such as Zoom, meeting with our childcare providers, or doing porch chats where we can talk to our providers outside on the porch or on the playground. So trying to find new inventive ways to continue our coaching efforts has been a challenge, but yet has also been rewarding in its own self. And so ECPBS focuses on 3 different parts of the pyramid, as you can see on the bottom, and I don't know if I can make this. Let's see, did I make that bigger? Maybe. But now you can't see the pyramid. Okay, I hope you can see it a little bit bigger. So if you look at the pyramid that's on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, this is kind of our model that we use with ECPBS. We really want to be able to provide the opportunity, like I mentioned, to train our childcare providers and support them through coaching, but then also work on what it is like to build positive relationships. So the P in ECPBS is positive, right? So we want to work with what does it look like to build positive relationships with the children in their room, with the peers or the staff that they work with the parents, with all the different relationships that come into their program. And then we work on what we call the universal strategies, which we feel are the key 6 areas inside a classroom that this is best practice. And so we really focus on physical environment, routines, visuals, active supervision, pre-corrects, and transitions. And that's another area that we really just kind of focus on. And we have found out that when putting our efforts in the bottom 3 parts of the pyramid, which the green parts on the screen, that 80 to 90% of challenging behaviors will start to dissipate. And then we move on to the next level where we provide and teach our child care providers how to do small social groups where we target particular skills, social skill building. And we know that if we put that in place on top of what we've already put in place in the green section of the pyramid, that about 80 to 90% of challenging behaviors will dissipate. And then we do realize that there are kiddos in every center that 1 to 5% that do need that intensive intervention. And so we also have the opportunity to work with our child care providers using a screen, the Ages and Stages Questionnaire screen, and really work with families and finding them the right resources, because as all of you know, early identification is key for all of our kiddos. So we want to make sure that we are able to provide the right resources. So that is some of the things that we do at SOAR. I don't know if there's anything else. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. Well, actually, let me see if I can go back up to the page 1. So there is some information. Our webpage is helpingyoungchildrensoar.org, and our Facebook page is SOAR for Kids. And so I do want to invite all of you to come and check out our webpage, but also follow us on Facebook for all the different information that we put up in regards to children's mental health in our community, but also, just children's mental health in general. So that is stuff about SOAR. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. There's a phone number on here as well that you can also leave a message and we will get back to you. And so Hillary, is there anything else? I talked fast, so I know I went really fast over my section.
We all talk fast because we can't see people's faces, and it's weird.
I know. It's, this is crazy not seeing anybody's face, by the way. I feel like I'm just talking to myself. But if there was any questions,
and there are.
Okay, go ahead.
So first one's not a question. It's Gay saying, "This is amazing."
We love you, Gay. Yes, Gay is one of our site directors. And so we really enjoy having the opportunity to be a part of her program. Thank you, Gay.
Which means your folks got to see My Child Goes There. And apparently she stripped completely the other day. So,
well,
whatever.
It's good. She was hot.
Yeah. Katie has a question about CPP. Is the program only for when a child experiences trauma versus when the caregiver experiences trauma?
An excellent question. It is for childhood trauma, but, it depends on when the caregiver who experienced the trauma was the child around? Does it affect the child's everyday life? So if it was before the child was in existence and it's not necessarily affecting their everyday life, then that probably wouldn't necessarily be an appropriate match. However, what I really love about our program is that we do a really extensive assessment. So it's about a 5-session assessment process. And during that time, we gather as much information as we can. And then if it's not an appropriate match for CPP, we will find an appropriate match. We will never just kick them to the curb and say, you're not ready for us or you don't match us. So I would always say to refer to us, and we will bring them in and meet with them and find the best fit in our community that we can find. That's a long answer, so I don't know if I answered it at all.
I think you did great.
It's a long day.
So if a parent had a mental health issue and ended up going to the hospital for a while, that would break the social bond for the child, even though it was an experience for the parent. And so you guys would be able to help with that.
Right. And I mean, even I've had individual parents who might have had sexual abuse in their past. And so maybe the child wasn't around for that, but it still affects something that's happening right now in their life. And so that has been something that we've been able to work on as well.
Makes sense to me. Who else has questions for Vicki? I mean, she did a great job of talking.
Thank you for letting me be a part of this. I really appreciate it, Hillary.
We're so glad you can be here. Now, our second kind of round of speakers have shown up, but I can't see their faces to know if they're ready. Angie, are you going to be ready a little early? We're running a little early. Catherine, if she's, oh, there's Angie. She's coming.
Sorry, Hillary.
Are you up for talking to all of us?
Yes,
A little early?
absolutely. Can
Is
you
it
see?
possible to see your face?
Yes,
There we go.
I'm so sorry.
That's perfect. So we're running a little early because everybody's had a lot to share, but we've talked a little fast. So it is your moment to shine, and we've actually been able to do our Q&A for each presenter as we've been going along. So let us know what you have going on at ParentLink.
Well, I do have a slide presentation put together. Would you like me to share my screen and
That's perfect. Vicki did that as well.
Are you able to see my screen?
I see it.
Okay, great. I'm not sure if it's the notes version or not, but
It is the notes version.
is that better? All right. Well, thank you, Hillary, so much for inviting me to spend a little bit of time with everyone and share some of the things that ParentLink has been doing. I am the Associate Director for New Programming and Kinship Caregiving. So I actually have two parts to my job. The first part is looking to see what we might be able to bring into the ParentLink organization as far as new programming. So that could be something in early childhood, or it could be something for families of children with all ages. So I am looking to see what other services we can provide and how we can expand our program. And then the other portion of my job, as I mentioned, is the kinship caregiving portion. And that is relatively new for ParentLink. We began our Kinship Navigator Program that I'll talk about a little bit more September 1st of 2019. So we have been doing this for a little over a year now. And we have a strong program in the southeast portion of the state, but we are looking to grow and expand the services, the kinship caregiver services that we are providing in the central portion of the state. So that's Cooper, Cole, Boone, and Randolph counties that we have that in. So I'll share some more about that program in just a little bit. So ParentLink has been providing support to families in Missouri for more than 30 years now. We are affiliated with the University of Missouri's College of Education, and our role really is to connect parents of children of all ages and stages to information and resources. So there's not one group or one stage of development that we really focus on. We're available for families with all ages of kiddos. So whether you have a brand new child and you're just wondering if you need can get some help navigating the waters of being a first-time parent, or you might have a child who is transitioning out of high school, and that brings its own set of challenges. So reach out to us and let us know what questions you have. We also welcome professionals in the fields that support families to contact us for information and materials. We have a very large resource library and are adding to it all the time. So please reach out to us with questions and we will work to find the answer. Or if we don't have the answer, we will connect you to a resource that does and can help you. Our primary mission is to effectively engage families in reducing adverse childhood experiences and to assist them in promoting optimal development. So we have 3 call lines that our wonderful staff answer. The first is the warm line. And that is a call line that is statewide, and it is for all caregivers and professionals. And our warm line has been around for about 30 years. It was part of the development of ParentLink when it first got started. Our second line is our Kin for Kid line, and this is a relatively new line as it goes with our kinship program. Both of these, or let me also mention, the Kin for Kid line is specific for kinship caregivers, grandfamilies, and professionals.
Hey,
So
Angie.
Yes.
I don't want to mess up your role, but since we're still looking at your first slide, it's not in slideshow mode, and I think people want to see these phone numbers.
It's not in slideshow.
Can you push the little from the beginning on the top left?
Let's see.
Or select slide number 3 so we can see it. There we go.
How is that? Okay, I was advancing slides and it was going on my side, but I'm sorry, I apologize.
You're doing great. We're all learning all the weirdness of this technology. So you just keep going.
That is not, that is not my forte. So thank you all for bearing with me. So as I was saying, our Kin for Kid line is relatively new. And it is specifically for kinship caregivers, grandfamilies, and professionals. Now, kinship caregivers, grandfamilies, and professionals that assist kinship caregivers are welcome to also contact our warm line, but our Kin for Kid line is specific for those families. The individuals who answer both of these call lines have master's degrees, and they are just phenomenal at helping families and professionals with problem-solving support. They provide research-based information. As I mentioned, our resource library, they dig into that frequently. And they also connect families and professionals to community and statewide services. These 2 lines are open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and also 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the weekends. And then we also have staff that answer the TelLink line, which is for individuals with questions on a wide range of maternal and child health services, such as WIC, food stamps, Medicaid, and prenatal referrals. Okay, oftentimes we will have young families or families with young children contact our warm line and have questions about their child's development. So our warm line staff also assist families in going through the Ages and Stages Questionnaire. And it's been wonderful that we've been able to offer this online. So that is an option if families prefer to have it mailed to them and complete it that way, we can do that as well. So we have a couple of different questionnaires that we offer. We offer the ASQ3, which focuses more broadly on the child's overall development. And this one can be given for children up to 5.5 years. So this is, again, more of the broad questions on where the child is really at in the developmental stage. We also offer the ASQ SE2, and that one focuses more specifically on the child's behaviors, following rules, communication, how they demonstrate feelings, those kinds of things. And this questionnaire can be given for children up to 6 years of age. Okay, so that was mainly ParentLink in a nutshell, and some of the services that ParentLink provides to families in Missouri. Now I want to dive into the other portion of my job, which is kinship caregivers. So ParentLink also offers support for kinship caregivers. And we do this through our ParentLink Kinship Navigator Program. So this program assists kinship families in finding and using programs and services to meet the needs of the children they are raising, as well as their own needs. A lot of times these families are very overwhelmed because they have been put into this role, or they have taken on this role very suddenly. And so they are really needing some assistance and some guidance, and also to take care of their own needs. It's a very important part of all of this. So let me go into a little bit about what we consider a kinship family. So kinship families are those where the grandparent, other relatives, such as an aunt or an uncle, or a loved one, it doesn't have to be a blood relative, but someone who has a close relationship with those children or that family. They have taken on the responsibility of caring for another individual's child. This includes families where children are being raised by kin in foster care or legal guardianship arrangements, children at risk of entering foster care, and children being raised by kin outside of the child welfare system. So it really includes a wide variety of our kinship families. And again, you know, these are families that are not necessarily in formal placements. They could be informal placement, but they have taken on this responsibility, most of them pretty suddenly, and are just needing some information and guidance on maybe this is the second time that they're parenting, and they need the support of, I'm in my 60s or 70s and now I have a toddler again. That's a big change from maybe what they were anticipating doing with this time in their life. So that is what we're here to help them navigate. And then diving into it a little bit more. So we have a few things that we do, and I'll get into that shortly. But our Kinship Navigator program really works with the caregivers to define their needs. So not only, again, as I mentioned, the needs of the children that they're caring for, but also their own needs. Maybe they need some assistance with housing, or maybe they need some legal assistance, some legal guidance, or possibly they need help just figuring out how to work with their children at the online school. So whatever their needs are, we help them figure out what those needs are, and then how we can use what we have in our toolbox to address those needs. Sometimes that means providing them research-based information through our resource library, and other times it means connecting them directly to community resources. So we might be reaching out to all of you for some of those supports and services. But just know that, you know, we do really value those strong partnerships and community resources, because they're invaluable to these families. We also provide assistance in obtaining benefits and services. So sometimes it might be, as I mentioned, securing basic needs or completing Medicaid, paperwork, finding mental health resources, whatever is pertinent to them, we try to address their need. So we have a couple of different ways that we provide support to kinship families. One is through connection with a ParentLink Kinship Navigator. So as I mentioned before, we have a strong Kinship Navigator program in the southeast portion of the state, and that has been going for about a year now. And in that area of the state, we cover Butler, Ripley, Pemiscot, Dunklin, New Madrid, Mississippi, Scott, and Stoddard counties. And then we are currently working to grow our support for kinship families through our Navigator program in the central area of the state. And as I mentioned, that is Boone, Cole, Cooper, and Randolph counties. We have a few navigators in the Southeast area who act as our boots on the ground, so to speak. They are working through the health departments there and directly provide connections to the kinship caregivers. It's, of course, been a little bit more difficult with the pandemic, being able to provide those face-to-face services, as we've all been facing that same challenge, I know. But they're doing everything that they can to make sure that the kinship families in the southeast portion of the state are supported, and they know that they can reach out to the navigators for services. We have a diaper distribution that we have for them. They can also pick up wipes. So again, we try to make sure that we meet them where they are and help them as much as we can. If we have kinship families in the state who are not in the central or southeast counties, we have our Kin for Kid line, as I mentioned before, that is available to kinship families statewide. They can contact us, and while we might not be able to provide that face-to-face guidance, we can certainly provide information and connection to resources in their communities. We also have 2 virtual support groups. So we used to offer these face-to-face, and unfortunately we've had to go away from that. But actually, we're finding that the kinship families are really enjoying the virtual support because their kids can be there too. And they don't have to travel, they don't have to figure out daycare. So it's worked out well. The 2 virtual support groups that we have of course, are available to all kinship families statewide. One is every Thursday morning from 10 to 11, and the other one is once a month on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7. And at these virtual support groups, we not only offer a time for them to communicate and connect with one another, but we also partner with University of Missouri Extension office, and they have been providing some really rich and informative presentations for us. Right now we're having them go through the Parenting a Second Time Around, or PASTA training, with our kinship caregivers, and that has really been well received. Okay, so to wrap it up, we have some resources. Please feel free to reach out to us and let us know how we can connect with your organization to help families. Feel free to contact our Warm line or our Kin for Kid line to request free ParentLink and Navigator materials. We would be happy to share those with you, and you could pass those along to your families. Also, our ParentLink Loan Library is for your use as well. So, let us know what you need, and I'm sure we have it in there. Our resource director is amazing. So the websites that we have a ParentLink site, and we also have a Kinship Navigator Program webpage, and both of those provide more information for you. So that is what I have. Anybody with questions, I'm happy to take them.
Angie, your Facebook account is also really helpful. So if folks are on Facebook, I would suggest following ParentLink.
Thank you, Hillary. I appreciate you mentioning that.
You bet. Okay, we have Gay is cheerleading up for us. She says, "This is great. I work with and train kinship and relative providers. So this will be a wonderful resource I can share with them." I'm glad you're learning things, everybody.
Wonderful.
And Amber has a question. Does the website show how to sign up for the virtual support group for kinship?
It does. It provides support groups by county. Now, some of the support groups that we have on our webpage were the face-to-face support groups. But on our main Kinship Navigator page, that's where we have information about the virtual support group. We have a flyer there, and it will link you The flyer will link you to the Zoom address that you need to get connected to our support groups, and it's the same Zoom link every time. So once you have that flyer with the information, you'll be set for the month.
Excellent. And some of your special speakers you recorded so that we can watch it later as like non-kinship people. Are those still available, or was that a 1 month sort of deal?
We do still have them on our webpage. We have Dr. Crumley, and his 4th session is up on our website until the end of September. So if you didn't get to see the first 3, I would strongly encourage you to at least take a few minutes and look at the 4th one. Just great information, so rich, and I think it's only about 25 or 30 minutes long, so it's well worth the time. And then we also have Dr. Dawn Huber, and the information that she provided at one of our virtual support groups. Her big ideas have been posted on our website too. So, and we are hoping to also post our sessions on legal resources that Jennifer Williams provided, and she's with the MU Extension Office, but she does have her law degree. So she really provided some great information for 4 support group sessions, and as soon as we get those from MU Extension, we'll get those posted as well.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions for Angie? I don't see anything popping up right now, but you're still going to be here for a few minutes, right?
I will, absolutely.
Okay. Catherine, this means you're next. Are you ready for me to switch to highlighting you? Okay, and you'll want to, oh, Angie, you have to stop sharing, yes, and then I will stop spotlighting. And then, there you are, Catherine, sweet. Tell us what you got.
My name is Catherine Miller, and I am the Triple P coordinator. Triple P stands for Positive Parenting Program. We are under an umbrella of services. So our umbrella starts with the BC ECC, which stands for Boone County Early Childhood Coalition, and we have 2 arms. So our first arm is our screening arm, and that is ran by Karen Washer. And we do developmental screening as well, but we use, our baseline is called the SWIC, which is the Survey of Well-Being of Young Children. And that is kind of a baseline screening that looks at developmental domains. It looks at emotional behavior domains. They have a family context domain, such as screening for food insecurity, domestic violence, parental concerns, and it also has an autism screener. The good thing about that is it's in a hub, so when a parent signs up, all their screens and results are kept together in that one area. They can have multi-children in there. The SWIC is for ages 0 to 5. And then we also, if that screener shows there's some concerns, especially in the developmental or the social emotional behavioral concerns, we also do the ASQ3 and the ASQ SE, like Angie mentioned. So we too can provide that additional extra layer of services in terms of screening. We like the multi dimension, as we do just the SWIC is just a developmental screener and just more broad, and then we go more in depth with the ASQ. So the good thing where Angie and I could mirror each other is the Boone County Early Childhood Coalition can unfortunately only serve those in Boone County. So, you know, if we get people who are outside our county who want screening, we know that we can refer to ParentLink and continue that community-wide approach. So that's one good thing that we also recognize and do. And then the other arm is the arm that I do, which is the Triple P arm. And so Triple P works with parents who have kiddos with behaviors that are sort of developmentally appropriate, like that hitting, kicking, biting. During COVID, we saw a lot of talking back, struggling to get into routines, just behaviors that kiddos usually have, but maybe it's a little too much and we want to work on scaling that back. We don't tell you where to scale that back to. We do what's best for your house and your home. We work with the parents, and then we help the parent gain those skills to work with their child so that, if something comes up again, they can use those skills versus having to come back to us. We, of course, will always take you back and want to work on as many things as you like to work on. But sometimes it's nice for someone to help you gain those skills to be able to use. Our households have multi kids in them. So the good news now, this is just fresh off. I'm able to actually see children up to 12 years old. That just popped out last Friday. Woo! So hot off the press. So we had been trained to see children up to 12 years old, but we were an early childhood program. So when the program first started, we only saw up to age 5. Then this year we were able to expand to age 8. Due to the outreach of the pandemic and the multiple levels of parents that have come to us, we've seen the need to expand through what we've been trained through, which is the age 12. So that is brand new. We're excited to get some material out and be able to market that to parents. Some of my pre-COVID biggest concerns were tantrums, bedtime routines was a huge one, especially around that go back to school time, and just routines in general. So COVID, we've had a lot of the talking back, how to get into a routine, working on schedules. A lot of parents right now are kind of, struggling with that. How do I work and my kid go to school too? What kind of routines? My kid is struggling with virtual learning. What can I do? The good news is I am either, however you want to see it, I'm swimming with you or I'm drowning with you, because I too have kids in that virtual learning. So my household has had to adjust and figure it out as well. So I'm there with you and as a support and kind of work through. One good thing that we do is we also look at what's going on in your household. The plan is specific to your household. And what needs that we can make and changes for your house. Like I said before, we don't set a limit or a plan that's based on something universal. We say, what would you like? An example of that is I had a mom when we first started whose kid tantrumed about 12 times a day. When we got her to about 5, she said, I'm good, I'm great. From 12 to 5 was good for her. Whereas someone else might say, look, I don't want to deal with it at all, or 1 or 2 times at max, but at 5, she was good. And, I checked in with her later after she had said, I'm good with 5. I'm done with your services, and she was able to continue on the path that we had set. And those tantrums had continued to dissipate. So she was able to use the skills and techniques to bring it down. But we don't tell you what your normal is for your family. We really work with you to see what works best for you and then help you achieve those goals. The sessions are usually somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour, so probably closer to the hour, at least the first time. What we do is we talk about what you want to change. We make a plan. We send you back out to work that plan. And then we follow up with, is that plan working? What didn't work? What kind of tweaks and changes can we do? We send you back out. You work that again. We come back. We discuss where are we at. If we are good, we kind of monitor you for a couple of weeks. Just check in by email. If there's other things we need to change, we, of course, continue to change them. So we're usually only together about 4 to 6 weeks maximum. And then if you need me for another topic, you're welcome to come back and we'll work through any other topics that you may have. And we are doing them by Zoom. So parents are asking, how are we serving people? We are doing that solely by Zoom right now. We've found that that's really actually aided parents a lot. Before they were having to find ways to come into the office and meet with us, because we work with you as a parent and not with the kiddo. So where am I going to take my kid? During COVID, there was no place to take your kid. So we went to Zoom. We saw that's worked very, very well. We know people are zoomed out, so don't worry, we understand that. But we definitely want to work with you to work on behaviors and kind of help your household to get to a point where it's great to be at home with your kids, and not so frustrated with them. So that's the BCECC organization. If you'd like to reach us, we're at bcecc.org. That takes us to our umbrella. You can click on screening, or you can click on P. And we're definitely willing to and able to assist you. We do work with the parents. We assist some child care providers. Karen also does some screening where she has some child hours, childcare hours that she can help providers get if they need. So definitely check us out. Karen has some training programs where she can provide hours for that as well. And I too have worked with childcare centers and different things to provide hours for strategies that we can help with.
A lot. You're doing a lot.
Yeah.
You didn't mention your workshops.
Ah, yes, so sorry. We do what we call seminars or workshops. We have some coming up with the library. The next one is, I believe, October 5th. So you can sign up through the library. We post our topics. Our last one that we did, I think we had, 10 or so people. We actually had, I think, 25 signed up, but we were competing with the school board that night. So I understood everybody wants to know what's our next steps. But you sign up through the library and then you get me, I deliver it, and we work through just some general parenting context. And then if you want to sign up for a one-on-one session after that, we can do that as well.
And I don't know if it's happening online, but I know when we were meeting in person, I definitely saw where parents and childcare providers were kind of coming together as a team. So they came together to some of your workshops so that they could come at the issues at school and at home in the same way. So I would say, don't just hear the word parenting and think, I'm going to just share this with my parents. It might be something you want to attend with them.
Yeah, and I will also say that we work with your childcare provider. If you say, hey, I want my childcare provider to hear the same things, we're willing to work with them as well to get some common language that may be heard at school and at home to help some of those behaviors decrease. So we're willing to work with, the parent and the childcare center, the parent and the school, the parent and the grandparent, whoever's watching them. We're definitely willing to work as a team approach with whomever else too.
All right, who has questions for her? While you're typing them in, I'm going to mention that a lot of you, have early childhood backgrounds, and so do I. And I found it personally very helpful to talk to Catherine with my spouse because if I come up with the solution, that's not always the best plan. It's not what Hillary said goes. So we found it really helpful to have Catherine come in and sometimes say exactly what I would have but it comes across in a much better way that way. So
sometimes we need to blend approaches too. How can we blend approaches?
Yes. It looks like you must have done a really good job of explaining everything because there aren't any questions right now.
Okay.
Which is crazy because that means, yep, Angie says, that's great, Catherine. You're doing it. Which means we'll have a little Q&A at the end if anybody has any questions, but I am going to stop spotlighting you. Okay. And then, hello, folks. Did I do it? I get to spotlight myself. Okay. I honestly thought that we wouldn't get to me. And then all the other speakers had so many wonderful things to talk about that I wouldn't get to talk about the library. But there's time. We stayed on schedule. So like I said at the beginning, I am Hillary Aid. I'm a children's librarian here at the Daniel Boone Regional Library. We serve Boone and Callaway counties. And we do a lot of what you would imagine a library does. We have books, we have music, we have movies, we have magazines, but we also are really working hard to get the information out to folks. So we run a Facebook group that was specifically started for childcare providers in an attempt to make sure that all these wonderful resources that have been shared tonight and the many more that pop up in our community are available for childcare providers. We have opened it up because we found that pediatricians, nurse practitioners, social workers have all wanted to be up on this information too. So we want to make sure you're in that Facebook group. I will send out an email with a link. If you're on Facebook, please join us. If you're not on Facebook, I have made the group public. So you can actually pop on and look at it without having a Facebook account at all. And we would love for you to invite anyone that you work with or that you think would appreciate the resources. We also have made it so that those resources can be shared out. So if your center has a Facebook page or your organization has a Facebook page, please share the resources that you think are going to help your families off of that Facebook group. It's a lot of flyers for local programs, but it is also, there's a free food program that just popped up that I hadn't seen before. The bus routes and how folks are working to get together for each school zone to get food delivered from the bus to home. We're posting a lot of that sort of thing. Yeah, thank you, Otter. We are also posting our library resources. Our programs are all online right now. And I know people don't really want to stare at a screen any longer than they have to, but we've got music and movement videos, recipes for fun where we're doing how to do a sensory bin, how to make an ice spy bottle, ideas for families with things they already have at home, as well as our story times, the parenting workshops like Catherine has done. We have all sorts of things, cemetery tours. Dana took us on a tour of the cemetery. So we'll have lots of programs available, and some of them are performers that we're paying for a specific time to be able to have it available, and some of the programs are us and we're able to do them for a longer period of time. But we're promoting all of those on the Facebook group too, so that you can keep up. I also wanted to mention we have STEAM kits, and this is our newest little guy. This is a Codapillar. Each little dial you turn and tell him if you want him to go left, right, or forward. And it's beginning coding skills for preschoolers. So we've made it so that childcare centers can check out a couple so that you can have a center with kiddos working on them together, but families can also come in and check these guys out and have practice with coding. This one doesn't require anything but the actual little guy, no apps or anything. We also have Dash. Can you all see Dash? Isn't he cute? My 3-year-old loves to just record herself and then make it play the voice, but it also, you can light it up, you drive it, and it's got basic coding skills for little guys, but older kids can really work on their STEM stuff and coding. We also have, I have a cart that I pushed way over here. Many of you know about our red and purple bags that are on themes. Purple ones are for birth to 2, and the red ones are for 3 to 5. And they're full of toys and books and an activity sheet. But I'm not sure everybody thinks about all the ways you can use them. Folks know they're great for when grandparents come to have some new toys, or when there's a babysitter, you want to show up with something new. When my kiddo had her first Christmas, I checked one out and wrapped everything up. And so there was a little science kit where she could reach in and feel all the different little toys, play with them, chew on them. We sanitized them. This one's science, so it has a whole posse of dinosaurs and a heat sensitive board, and it's full of books. And it comes with a little sheet of activities you can do with the toys in there. You don't need to find pipe cleaners or glue sticks. It's all in there. And they're for a month. The idea is that each family could have a new kit each month and not have to buy anything. I just returned them when she was done playing with it, and we went on to get another kit, and I didn't have to spend anything on her first Christmas. So grandparents had that covered, in all honesty. But I wanted to make sure everybody knows that we have kits. We also have gotten grants where we've made music and movement booklets. So not only do we have the videos, we also have booklets that have some of our favorite rhymes and songs that you could come and pick up for your classes if you want, or let me know. Families can also get them the recipes for fun booklets as well. Kinetic sand, how to make it. We have so much. We also have curbside right now, so no programs in the building. You can come into the building as long as you're wearing your masks. but you can also place things on hold and have them on curbside. I also wanted to mention that if you have a need in a childcare setting for a book list, one childcare provider reached out because they had a parent who was being deployed. So our staff got together and made a book list of all the books that the library owns that are on deployment, and we put it together and sent it to them. Loss has been something that folks have needed book lists on. So if you have something that you need a list on, we're happy to help you and pull it together. Then we tend to share it in the Facebook group so that everybody has access to it. Otter, what am I forgetting? She doesn't think I'm forgetting anything. I'm sure I am. Who has questions about the library?
Hillary, do you care if we just ask instead of typing?
Oh, you go for it.
Okay, so those like the decoder, the caterpillar and such, are those things that they can check? How long can childcare sites have those? Is there like a length of time?
Well, yes, and it varies. So if you come into the building and you get a kit, not the purple bags, those are the purple and red bags are a month.
Okay.
But these guys are a week.
Okay.
But you can renew. We also don't do overdue fees. So if you're, like, my kiddo was in love with a specific potty training book, I kept it extra long. It's okay. We are not library police. But you can renew them. The childcare centers that we visit with Rover and Junior get them for a month because our visits are monthly.
Okay.
So
do these ever come up on the bookmobile, or is it something that the sites need to come in and get? Okay, so can they order stuff like that on the bookmobile?
Yes.
Okay.
Please. So you can place holds on them and ask to have them delivered on the bookmobile. The big bookmobile, which sits in towns for a specific time, we're not letting anybody on any of our bookmobiles, but they can place holds for that. It is something that you can do is get a center library card. So a lot of small home childcare providers don't realize that they can keep their business life and their personal life separate and have a library card for each. So if anybody ever needs to get a center card, let us know. We can help you do that. Also, through your programs, you can serve as proof of identity and proof of address and run a library card drive for your families. So if somebody comes into the library, they have to have a piece of mail that has their current address on it and a photo ID. We don't ask for that if the information is coming through a program, because you already know who they are, that they live here. And it doesn't just have to be for the kids in your program. It can be their siblings, it can be their parents. Especially right now, we have a lot of materials that are downloadable, lots of downloadable books, movies, audio books. My family maxes out our all of our downloadables. In fact, the day before we all went home for COVID, I made sure my 3-year-old had a library card because I knew I was going to need those resources. I was like, this is the thing I have to do. Everybody else is getting toilet paper, which I should have gotten, but I got her a library card. How do you sign up for a library card drive? Hannah, we're putting a link on the website, but I will make sure that I put it into our list. I plan to send you all sorts of stuff after this this evening is over so that you have everything. Can parent educators with PAT cert? Yes. Serve as proof of residence for families too. Yes, you can. In fact, a lot of educators actually just take the forms when they do their home visits and then just bring them in. You do need to send a care of Hillary. If you just hand it over at the front desk, they're gonna be confused. There are just too many of us to know all the details of everything. But if you drop them off in an envelope, care of Hillary, and say PAT library card drive, check. I will mail those cards to their houses. Yes, thank you, Otter. The library has a limited supply of Wi-Fi hotspots. We're getting more. We got a grant. But while there are few hotspots and there is a very long holds list, I have found that families with lots of kids have figured out the trick. One parent puts one on hold on their library card, and then the next parent puts one on hold on their library card, and then they put them on hold on all the kids' library cards. That's why you get your kids' cards. And if your hold comes available before it's time to return that hotspot, you can just suspend it and sit in that first spot and wait your turn. And then when you have to return the first one, you let yourself go. And that way, families that really need it have figured out that that's a way to have a hotspot in their house. Not guaranteed, but it is a way to keep them around. Other people place them on hold and take them on trips when we were all going on trips. So they knew they would have Wi-Fi while they were out. So thank you. That's a good one, Otter. What else did I miss? Okay, yes, you love the Book Rover. We wish we could come do story times. Sad. Oh, Angela, will we do the Missouri Building Blocks program this year? Not this year. So we have the kits. The Missouri Building Blocks Picture Book Award is one for preschoolers where there are 10 nominees of great read-alouds. And we have all 10 nominees in a backpack with the ballots so that your kiddos can vote for their favorite. And the I voted stickers, which are very important. And then you just bring the backpack back and we restock it for the next center. It also has activities for each of the books. So those backpacks are available, Missouri Building Block kits. We are going to be doing our story times on at least 5 of the titles in the kits so that you could show our virtual story times if you want. But I chose to do this workshop instead of the Building Blocks workshop this year. I just really felt like people needed to be connected to resources. And I didn't know how to do the crafts over a computer. We do have another workshop that I just got approved, and it is on the calendar as of this afternoon. It is called Read from the Start. It is through the Missouri Humanities Council. And what they typically do is get a group of people together. Everybody gets a bag with the same children's books. We read them aloud together, and then we talk about what we like about them, what we don't like about them, what we think could lead to discussion topics with our kiddos, what activities we can do with them. And they have given us permission to do that as a workshop for childcare providers for 2 clock hours. And everyone will receive the same 6 books. We won't be able to read round robin on Zoom, but we're going to do our best to read the books, enjoy the books, and talk about how we can incorporate them into the classroom. And then the library will be doing 2 sessions just for families. They're shorter, so they don't get all 6 books. They'll get 4. But those will be some of the same books that the providers get. So I think it'll be a really nice way to have the teachers enjoying these books and sharing them in their classroom, and then those same books being in the household for the kids and their parents to share. So that is coming up, and you can hop on October 27th. You can hop on the workshop calendar when we're done and sign up. Let's see, what else? I see there's another. Oh, thank you. We try to be awesome. Yes. So Siobhan, we have several actually book lists. Her question is, do we have any book lists dedicated to explaining racism and social justice? We have How to Be Anti-Racist, book list for picture books, juvenile and adult. We also have several book lists that are put out by several different organizations about best Black children's books or books on equality. We have been sharing those book lists in the Facebook group. I can throw some of them into the email that I send out to everyone too. But if you think of any more, oh, go Otter, go. Look at her, she's flopping the links in there. If you think of any other book lists though, let us know. Oh, we're doing so good on time. We'll give everybody a moment to, do you have any questions for any of our other panelists while they're all here? No? Really? That means we all made sense? That's awesome. I'm looking at my list. Okay, so I wanted to show everyone a couple of things, and I am, Otter, are you okay with sharing that slideshow?
Yes.
Okay, so we have created a Google folder with all the flyers connected to the resources tonight, and that we are working on getting on the library's website. We realized when we were home that a lot of the resources had changed their services so drastically that we needed to change our website, but it's still in the process. It's gonna be there. But for now, I wanted to make sure that all of you have access to that. So Otter is gonna show us some of the flyers that are in there, just so you can kind of see the basics of it.
Uh-oh.
You're doing great. You just want to click the
Yeah,
little
it's
guy at the
like,
bottom somewhere.
that's what I thought. Oh dear, it worked in the trial.
It totally worked in the trial.
Gosh.
It's hiding under the black bar at the bottom.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think this might be what happened to Angie.
You know. Okay.
No, I think,
Well, if you are all willing to just look at our slides in their non-beautiful format, we wanted to make sure everyone knows that there are a lot of programs happening right now. Way with Words and Numbers has changed their tutoring services to online so that families can still receive tutoring help for free. It's through the University of Missouri. We heard about BC ECC tonight. Oh, that's my kid. Bottom
right
picture.
there, right there.
She's famous. Okay. Boone County Bank is doing a bunch of financial classes that are completely free. You don't need to use their bank. My spouse and I took their credit class. They also talk about student loans, building a small business, all sorts of really good to know about budgeting classes. This is the new fall feeding program that I hadn't heard about it. But they're delivering dinners, because a lot of people do lunches. They're delivering dinners to some of our more at-need communities. Jumpstart has moved all online too. So instead of just being for Columbia, they're now for all of Missouri. Preschoolers can be enrolled and hang out with MU students and learn about early literacy. The Daydreams Foundation provides equipment for sports programs, but they also provide scholarships for kids who are wanting to be in dance or on a sports team, any sort of extracurricular art classes. They have removed the financial limitations that they normally have due to COVID, because they know that a lot of families have, oh, look, you made it happen. A lot of families are having financial issues due to COVID that their tax statements from last year and stuff aren't going to show. 'Tis the season to sign kids up. Whoa, whoa. Or the holiday program at FAC. And they're doing that all over the phone instead of long lines of people. That's our Facebook group. Join it.
Yes.
This is the free counseling that Siobhan was talking about. Great Circle is doing parenting cafes. They're also doing home visiting programs.
Ooh.
Hey, look, there's a local public library and they have programs, including Catherine's workshop and storytelling and radio theater and our story times, all kinds of good stuff. Sometimes the things I post on Facebook are actual photographs of flyers that I've seen. I contacted the people for the pretty flyer. They didn't send it, but I wanted to make sure I had it. So there's a social outreach group for folks who are feeling anxious or depressed due to being stuck at home. My Life Clinic does pregnancy tests. They have a boutique for parents to earn boutique bucks and buy clothing and maternity clothes, stuff for their kiddos. Hey, look, kinship care. We all know about that now. Postpartum depression and anxiety flyers, what to look for, who to talk to here in our community to get those resources. Rainbow House. I think a lot of people know that they provide crisis care, but I don't know that I realized for a while that, say, if family traveling through the area is in a car accident and the parents are in the hospital, Rainbow House will take care of that kiddo. Family that's couch surfing, the parents can still couch surf and the kids can have a safer place to stay. There are a lot of reasons, like even a dental procedure that's going to have a parent out and they don't have anyone else to watch their kiddos and have them safe. Rainbow House can help take care of them. And Safe Families for Children is a brand new program in our community where they have families that have gone through a process of training and are a place for kids to stay, including teen parents and their kids if needed, while their family gets their feet under them, so they don't have to be worried about being turned in. That's what they say. They don't want to be turned in. This is a safe place for the kiddos to be, and they keep them in contact with their parents while their parents get their feet under them. I know lots of people know we've got diaper drives with ParentLink, and I'm at First Chance for Children with First Chance for Children, but there's also a cloth diapering bank in town where they'll teach you how to take care of cloth diapers and get you cloth diapers. And when your kiddo sizes up, they just swap out the old ones for new ones. Voluntary Action Center has all sorts of programs. They also have a very long list of all the paperwork that you need to make sure you bring in with you. But now it stays on file for 12 months, which is awesome because used to families had to bring it in every single time they needed a service. Oh, and Wolfner Library, this is another one I just took a picture of. They provide kits kind of like we do, but they're for kids who are blind or visually impaired. They also have kits for kids who have dyslexia. So I don't know that everyone knows that you can get hooked up with Wolfner for kids and not just for older adults who are losing their eyesight. They have a lot of programs. These are just some of the flyers that we have. Oh, look, check that out. We all know about CPP now too, and SOAR. Otter, you can close that, I think. Yes, Angie, please share these things on your ParentLink stuff. Please, please, please. Who has any questions? It's a lot of information. It's not even everything, which is why I got this workshop approved, because then we can do it again in the spring and have 6 new presenters and learn about 6 other programs. Just keep doing it. Everyone should receive, I go to bed at 7. Everyone should receive an email tomorrow that will have any of the information that you asked for. It will also have a link to the survey about the one that's to get you your clock hours on what you learned, but also if there's anything we can do to improve this program or any other topics that you would like for us to talk about to get clock hour workshops. So make sure you fill that guy out, and I'll send out the certificate to everyone. Oh, Otter, you want to mention HeartSpace? Yes, please do. We have a minute.
Well, I don't have the flyer in front of me, but I can maybe grab it. HeartSpace offers free counseling to helpers in the community. So if you're a teacher, if you're a counselor yourself, if you're a parent, you can get free sessions of counseling from HeartSpace. And I'm gonna look for the flyer, and well, it's in the email that you guys will get. So. It's just wonderful to know that that's out there. And the university also offers free counseling, I think 6 sessions maybe, just like for FACE for Boone County residents. I haven't been able to clarify what their specific requirements are, but that's another outlet for mental health services. That's all I got.
That was beautiful. And now I've got you spotlit, so you just have to dance and sing or something. Okay. Are there any resources anyone needs? Any questions? We're gonna end early. By 6 whole minutes? Now, well, we've recorded it. Everybody's gonna know. Otter does have a slideshow for us that has everyone's contact information. We're going to send it out to all of you, but we were going to just play it for the recording for folks that aren't going to get all the fun email information that the rest of you are going to get. But we're so glad that you were here tonight. We really hope that you got information that you're going to be able to use for yourself, for the families you serve. And if there's something you need that you don't know about, let us know, because the people on this panel can probably hook you up. Okay, everybody can go on. It's good to see the people I could see, and the rest of you, I'm so glad you were here. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you. It's great.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye. All right, Otter, I'll let you play that slideshow. She left. Okay. Oh, no, you're there. For the funsies, there's the workshop that we will be having in October. Love to see you there. That one will be Zoom meeting, so we will all see each other. All right, you 3 are hardcore. You're still here even at the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording and close off. Let us know if you need anything.
Good night, everybody.